them out. Hitting the bee's nest.
Okay. Started off the intros.
6'3". I know when Rob was sitting here.
Yeah, I moved the table up a little.
Oh, okay.
Everything's on there. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. We'll just start off introduction. Whatever we feel like doing, I guess.
Right on.
Okay. All right. Here we are. Welcome to another edition of the Jonny R Show. Jonny R. And sitting at C's Coffee Shop once again. Lovely new business on the res. Run by my sister and her husband, Greg Thomas. Delicious coffee and donuts, snacks, specials. So look up C's Coffee Shop. I like to do that because it looks cool. Stuff pops up like that. But with me today is Red Lake Warriors legend Byron Graves. What were you on though? Was it 98, 99?
Yep, in 2000. Yep, 3 years.
Yeah.
Had the honor of playing for them for 3 years. Yep.
And you were at one time the all-time leading rebounder. And
yeah, for a few years.
For a few years.
Yep.
So did you get anything for that, like a plaque or?
Yeah, I got a plaque. Yeah, it was cool. I look at it every night. Snuggle it.
You still get calls from honeys for that?
That's how I convince people to come over. I'll show you my trophy.
Check this out, man. Check this out.
You probably think I just had it made somewhere.
You know,
it doesn't look like a basketball player. That's what everyone says. If I'm talking to someone who doesn't know me from back then, if I meet someone in the cities or something, and we'll start chit-chatting, and I'll be like, yeah, I used to play basketball. They're like, what? You? I feel like Woody Harrelson on White Man Can't Jump. Yeah, I could probably go hustle people at like any basketball court. We'll take the white boy.
The white boy. The sloppy-looking white boy.
Yeah, with the Chuck Taylors. School his ass. Put 100 on it.
It's good to see you again, man.
Yeah, good to be back, man. Up here visiting for a few days.
We put a couple questions on, or asked for questions on Facebook about anything in particular. But one topic you brought up was pretty good about name your top 5 Red Lake Warrior basketball players of all time.
Of all time,
That's
the top 5 list.
I don't even know how far back Red Lake basketball goes, but I was looking at a plaque one day, I think it's 1939, and Chunky Brunn, he was on there, and that was, 61 plus 14?
I'd imagine Chunky Brunn would be kind of like a Charles Barkley type player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he was throwing some balls.
And some elbows.
Double-doubles. I bet he got double-doubles.
Every night if they took that stat,
yeah.
But, well, you got time to think about it. Who do you have on your top 5 all time?
I mulled this over way before I asked it to you. That was partially how I came up with the idea for doing it. And it came up recently when the Red Lake Warriors were on their most recent run, and I was thinking about Ryan Holthison taking over the all-time scoring title away from his own dad, which is kind of cool to see a player like him work his ass off and finally get to that point. And then they went on that, that playoff run recently, and I started to wonder where he fit in to that top 5. And I was like, well, one of the big things for me is how far did you go in the playoffs? Not what your stats were, but how far did you take your team? And as I was thinking about that, he took his team to state. So then I was like, shit, that just completely changed up the argument now, because I wasn't sure if he was my top 5 or if he was that 6th or 7th spot. But him going to state, I have to put him in the top 5 for sure. Gerald Kingbird, Delwyn Holthison, my brother Matt Graves, probably 4 right there, and then I'm gonna have to go with Peach. Peach is gonna make my top 5.
Yeah, it's a pretty good squad there.
Yeah, I'll put money up on him.
Yeah. Like I read the sports guy. I don't know if you read the sports guy. ESPN has his own website now, but he has this thing where he talks about if aliens came to Earth and they wanted to play the 5 best basketball players in the world. Where would you go?
Like Space Jam.
Yeah, like Space Jam.
Right.
But put that in Red Lake Warriors terms.
Yeah, the Mount Rushmore.
The Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. Who's your top 5?
Man, I tried to be objective about it. I grew up with a lot of basketball players, and it's kind of hard to, of course, I have to start with Peach. Peach. You can't deny Gerald Kingbird, his run there was 3-4 years in state. Yep. Delwyn Holthison, of course. Those 3, top 3 right there, in any order.
Right.
And then after that, it gets kind kind of sketchy for me. You know, when I was growing up, when I first started watching the Warriors basketball, the Humanities, mid '80s, it was Junior Kobenace.
Yep.
You know, he's the first superstar in Red Lake basketball. You know, that I knew of growing up.
Right.
He was the first
and
one I
when
saw.
we asked this question online on Facebook and on Twitter, his name popped up. You know, throughout different people's responses and whatnot. So yeah, his name still gets mentioned as one of those.
Yeah. And then, man, getting that fifth one with those four, I would nail. I think it'd be like a three-way tie between Ryan, Derek Smith, and your brother Matt, all time.
Well, and I was thinking about this, how hard it is to chisel it to the 5, because you can go 1, 2, 3, and then when you get to that 4th and 5th spot, there's about another like 7 to 10 guys who you could throw into that argument. You know, Dominic Johnson, one of my favorite basketball players to ever watch. That guy could shoot the lights out from anywhere. Incredible ball handling skills, court vision, like Magic Johnson level court vision. So I mean, he's arguably, to me, on skill for skill, pound for pound, I'd put him when he was in his prime against anyone. He could be in that top 5 too. So I mean, Tom Barrett was a beast. He deserves that top 5 argument. There's a lot of good ball players. You said, you know, Kevon Kingbird was fun to watch. He was a hell of a point guard. I mean, Bob Barrett was a beast. Bob was a straight
he's
beast.
a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
I had a front row seat sitting on a bench watching him play. So, so I know
when I started watching Red Lake Warrior basketball, I have some kind of faint memories of like the late 80s, early 90s. But when I really like was paying attention and watching, because I knew I wanted to play basketball. It was Bob Barrett, Peach, Shane, Kevon, Kevin, those guys, Derek Smith. That's who I remember. Those guys were like my heroes. Those were my idols. Like I remember watching them school people all day.
That was the team there that, I don't know if, you know, I kind of like, because it is 94, that 94 team, because, you know, that's the year I graduated with those guys. And I like to say, probably not true, but brought the winning tradition back to Red Lake, even though they didn't, they got stopped in, where was it, subsection championship that next year, and then 96, Peach and them went to Crookston again, and then 97, I don't know, honestly, that 97 team, that came out of nowhere for me. You know, they were just soft. Gerald and
right. No one really expected anything. Anytime you graduate, your best player or a team, you know, of seniors and whatnot leave, and they're your core team. The next year, you're like, well, it's a rebuilding year. Well, they'll be good in a couple of years. You see the potential and whatnot. But yeah, what they did, I think, shocked the state. But you kind of have that opportunity when you're nobody and you're not expected to do anything, where the very next year we were ranked number 1 and we were expected to go back and replicate what had happened, and then every single team you play, because they know you're number 1, are playing their hearts out against you. We'd go and we'd go play fucking, you know, Kelly or North Home, and those guys wanted to take out the number 1 spot, so they're playing beyond their abilities. You know, we'd go play Black Duck, and those guys were so pumped up. So every night you're going against them, those guys on their A games, not how they normally play, but on their like the best night of their lives. So we had some battles throughout those next couple of years because of that target we had on our back, but I wouldn't have it any other way. That competition and that energy and that excitement and that atmosphere was just insane to play in.
I was thinking about that too. You know, when this team, the graduate Ryan's team, like 3 years ago, they struggled for the first time, and I don't know how long it was, but you know, they built up from that. I don't know if Ryan was a freshman or 8th grader that year, but that was just the roughest time that I remember, is, you know, watching the Warriors, and they just worked hard. They built up, and then, you know, their little run to state was pretty proud of that. You know, how they worked so hard to get up.
As high as they really saw them put the development in and the time in. But that's always a great thing to show the younger kids who are in 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, like, hey, you can do it. You just need to work. It doesn't come easy. There's a huge difference between the players who love basketball, want to be good at basketball, and they play during the season. And then there's the other guys who there is no season or off season. You know, those guys who play 365 days a year, studying game tape. You know, those people are the ones that we mentioned in that top 5 to 7. Those are the guys who I guarantee hooped all day, every day.
All right, well, we'll go to our questions. We got one from Matthew Graves Sr. I don't know if you know him, but he says, Byron, if you were a basketball coach, would you teach your players how to undercut their opponent?
I don't know how I should answer that. I would say I would teach him. I know his questions in jest and for fun. So, but yeah, no, I would teach him to play their fucking asses off, though, man. Rough, hard, 1980, 88, 89 Detroit Pistons.
Oh, bad boys,
bad boy basketball. The mid 90s Knicks.
Yeah, make them pay for wanting to.
Yeah, you're gonna get elbowed, you're gonna get shoved down, you're gonna get pushed, you're gonna get bullied, you're gonna get beat up, you're gonna get shit talked to you. And we'll see you drive it in the fourth quarter. So that's my style of basketball. So if I was a coach, people would be diving on the floors, people would be fighting, it'd be an aggressive team. If they couldn't play offensive basketball, they'd hold their own in defense and rebounding and hustle.
That's what I was thinking about. One of the things I've noticed as I've gotten older is I never understood it when I was younger, but practicing good habits. You know, they think it's just practice. You know, they get bored. Kids get bored with it, and then you can tell the ones that are really gonna make it because that's what they do. You know, hustle everything out and you know, don't be lazy, stupid,
you don't take a play off.
Yeah, don't take a play off.
Yeah.
But and then there was a second part to this question. And have you gotten any offers to coach the Clearbrook Bears basketball team?
No, I don't think that would ever happen. No, I don't think they're a big fan of me.
Is that you want to elaborate on that? Is there a story behind that, or
there is? In 1999, in the district championship, we were playing against Clearbrook at BSU, and they had a pretty good basketball team. They were giving us a pretty good game. It was they were giving us a run for their money for a moment, and they had a center who was 6'5" or 6'6", and we missed a shot. One of them got the rebound, and they were passing it to him. He was on an outlet fast break. He was passing by half court all alone, all by himself. So I began to chase after him. And he had a breakaway dunk or layup. Should have just let it go. We were actually up by like 15 at that point. I wanted to send a message to any team that was in the stands, whoever was in the stands. So I went running after him, and I went to push him, thinking he would just fall forward. But as I hit him, I thought he was going to lay it up, and he was going to keep moving forward, and that's how I would push him, so he would just fall that way. But at the last second, he planted both of his feet and decided he was going to go straight up and dunk it. So then when I was pushing him, his body flipped up and backwards. He landed on his head, and this guy had a series of a history of convulsions and whatnot. So when his head hit that basketball court, he went into a convulsion, and blood just poured out all over him. And you had the Clearbrook crowd and the Red Lake crowd in a packed, hostile already environment, and then that happened. So it was damn near a riot, actually. I had to get police escorted out. I thought I killed the guy. I really thought I killed him. I was like, am I going to go to prison for like hitting someone in a basketball game? I really thought he was dead. It was one of the scariest moments of my life. I was so glad that he was okay, you know, and you know, it was intentional, but I didn't mean for him to get hurt like that. I just meant to fall him hard, just like what we were just talking about with that hardcore playoff basketball, you know. But yeah, it was one of the scariest things that ever happened to me. And some people joke about it. Some people probably wouldn't like us to joke about it. So, you know, I always walk the line kind of carefully. But anytime anyone asks me about that.
Nice question, Matt.
Yeah, Matt.
All right, what else do we have here? I think we had another one.
Getting grilled.
I know. These people know their Warrior history. I suppose he was right there too.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
his idea.
Matt Graves again. He has his top 5 Warriors: Bob Barrett, Derek Smith, Gordie Johnson. That's a good old another Warrior legend there. Byron Graves is in this one, and Ryan Holtson.
I think I got on his list just because I'm his brother.
Oh,
so maybe he was making up for that Clearbrook question.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought that's what it was. He was trying to balance it out. Like,
we did it perfectly then. You made up for
that's
putting you on the spot like that. Yeah. So brothers. And we got a question from Thomas Barrett for Byron. If you could be a comic book hero, villain besides Wolverine, who would it be?
It's a great question. There's a few different ways you want to take it. Superman obviously is invincible and can fly and all that, but he's boring. So boring.
Yeah.
Tony Stark's on the other hand, billionaire,
playboy.
Probably banging Kate Upton as we speak.
Yeah.
So that's alluring. And his technology and outfits are pretty slick. But there's a part of me that's always absolutely loved Batman. You know, the vigilante darkness of the Dark Knight. So, God, that's tough. I'm gonna go with Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Yeah.
All that money, all that time.
Yeah. Kate Upton.
Kate Upton. Yeah. And that, you bring up Batman. Bruce Wayne. I think that would be the way to go. You know, because you have the Batman. You know, nobody knows who you are.
Right.
So you just get to live a normal life instead of you know, cameras in your face all the time, and you know how TMZ and all that stuff is right now. But
shout out to TMZ.
TMZ. You know, I hate
you gotta
that
put
show.
Their logo up on it.
TMZ, yeah, that little thing, the little bass line.
Yeah. Why do you hate TMZ?
I don't know. I just hate it, but I can't quit watching it. I don't know. The more I watch it, I see how funny those guys actually are, and I hate that.
Yeah.
You know, a show that I hate watching. Hate watch it. We'll say. Hate watch it, man. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, you got things coming up. What do you had your I don't know if it's would be Broadway or your stage debut?
Yeah, I had the opportunity to perform in a play called A Soldier's Play, which actually won the Pulitzer back in the 80s for drama. But yeah, it took place in World War II, and it was kind of about the challenges and battles that African Americans had with being in the military, moving up in the military, the way they were treated, the way they were looked down upon. It's a really intense play, but it was one of the best experiences of my life. I walked in there just kind of on a whim. Like I've acted in some stuff, but I'm not, you know, a trained, skilled actor by any means. And I went auditioned and was blown away that I got the part. Like I was just kind of auditioning just to see like what it was like and get my feet wet, and they called me and I got the role. So I showed up really like nervous, really scared, not knowing what to expect. And as we were doing the first very time that we got together as a group, we just read through the entire play. They told us what characters we were, and we read through like just sitting and reading a book all together, and they just took turns reading their parts. And in each character's voice and how they were already acting, they were already being intense, they were already shouting, they were already sobbing, crying as they were reading this. And I was sitting there like, damn, I thought we were just reading, you know? So I was like, holy crap, these guys are legit, you know? So I had to really, really, really step my game up and move out of my comfort zone and really stretch myself. It was a lot of fun. The director was incredible. His name was Kevin West. He does a ton of stuff down in the Minneapolis area. Helped me so much, taught me so much. One of the things he said was, leap and the net will appear. And that stuck with me ever since then. And that was like a few months ago, and I've just been living by that. Don't be afraid if you have a dream, just go for it. It'll work itself out in one way, shape, or form. But yeah, he just kept telling me, trust me, trust me. I've been doing this 30 years. I won't let you go up there and look awful. Like when you get up there, if I say you look good, you look good. So I was like, all right, that was affirming. That was good to hear. So for 2 months, like 6 days a week, we were working on that thing. Had a 5-show performance in February. My little sister Serena came out, made it to every show. That was awesome. A bunch of my family and friends came down. My sisters, my nieces, my mom. It was touching. A ton of my friends in the metro area. Meant so much to me to have them come all the way from Red Lake down to Minneapolis to see me perform. So knowing that when I was tired, when I was exhausted, I just kept thinking, man, your family's coming down. Your family's down. Like, step it up. You know, they're coming down to see you. You got to be on your A game. So it was motivating. Yeah. That support group that you have, if you have it, means so much when you're doing something artistic or something that's just really stressful or really pushing you, you know, beyond your limits.
That's
I'm looking forward to doing more acting stuff now. I kind of got the bug. Kind of probably like for you after you got that first 1 or 2, you know, stand-up movies under your belt. The adrenaline rush of going up in front of a live crowd of people.
The
not
high.
Knowing if, you get such an adrenaline rush off it. You don't know if you're going to screw up. You don't know if it's going to go great. Like that, it's nerve-wracking, but it's fun, you know. So I'll definitely see myself doing something soon. Now I got the experience too. I kind of know what it is, what to expect.
That's I always tell my wife, and she sees it a lot too. Like the hardest time for hardest thing about comedy is the days leading up to it. It's so stressful. I'm the worst person to be around the day of a show, and I just pace all day. I'm edgy, and it just but once you get off, and once you finish, and then it's just a big release. And like you can just feel the almost like hulking up after you get done. That's the best part of it. Right. So the reason we do it. Madness, I don't know if you know this, but I auditioned for a role in a movie over the summer.
Oh yeah?
It was I don't know if you heard about The Jingle Dress. That movie's coming out. I think they're having their preview or their opening night next Saturday. But it's a movie with Chas K. Spencer, the guy from Twilight movies.
Yeah, sure.
And Stacy Thunder, who's from Red
Yep.
Lake, they're a couple in that movie. And I auditioned for the lead role. So Chaskey Spencer beat me out for my first role. And
Shouldn't feel too bad about that.
I knew I should have took my shirt off, man.
Next
time I'll
yeah.
take my shirt off. So
yeah, I say win or learn, never lose.
Yeah.
Yep. Now next time you'll know. Rip that shirt
rip
off.
that shirt right off, man.
Yeah.
Stupid. I should have just let it all out.
Yep.
I was, I figured,
You'd be making out Stacy Thunder. Now you're sitting here with me.
I figured if I audition for the top one, they'll probably offer me a couple more roles down the line. Because if I audition from the bottom,
right? There's nowhere to go from there.
Yeah. So, but they did call me a couple times, asked me to come read for smaller parts, but I thought they were gonna be filming during the summer. I had the whole summer off. They call me like I work at the high school, and the first day of school they call me. You come down and come read this part out. And man, I can't get away now. It's too late. So I was still kind of bummed about that. But it could have been my Oscar-winning performance there. I had to turn away. Next time. So the jingle dress, I don't know.
When you're a Minnesota sports fan, you should get, and a Chicago Cubs fan, you should get kind of used to being able to say next time or next year.
Oh, man. All my life, man. Yeah. All my life.
I was actually going to get a tattoo that said next year with each Minnesota logo kind of incorporated into it. Vikings, Twins, Timberwolves. That's
the thing about me as a sports fan. Cubs, Vikings, Timberwolves. I don't watch hockey. I'm sick of college sports because of the money and all that stuff. But those three sports right there, I've been diehard fan since I can remember. We were talking about the Wolves, and we were glad to have our own NBA team for once, and day one fans, and never jump ship on any teams. But see, like you Minnesota fans, you guys suffer with the Vikings and you suffer with the Timberwolves, but you guys had that 1991 World Series champion, 87 and 91, and then me as a Timberwolves, Vikings, and Cubs fan,
zilch.
Nothing. I've never experienced victory.
When was their last World Series championship?
1908.
1908. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't even. That was like 58.
That almost doesn't even count.
It doesn't. That's like 68 years before I was born.
That's rough. Yeah, that puts things in perspective. I don't feel so bad now. Yeah. It's only been like 20-some years since Minnesota won a title.
Yeah, everybody's...
Shout out to the Lynx, though. Can't sleep on the Lynx.
The Lynx.
The Lynx have won a couple titles.
I
just kind of sexist for us not to include
the
Lynx.
How dare we? But I've never been able... I went to a couple Lynx games. I don't know. I couldn't get into it.
You get into the playoffs, though.
Playoffs, really?
The playoffs are where it's at. I've gone to a lot of regular season. I've gone to a lot of the playoff games, especially in the finals. When you're sitting in a finals game, it's a finals game. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter that it's women's or WNBA. Like, the atmosphere, Target Center was packed. Every person there was, like, ready to see them win it. So, I was blown away. If you haven't gone to a Lynx playoff game, go. They'll be in it again, obviously.
The Lynx, their upcoming season... a lot of the experts, they have Shoni Schimmel coming to the Minnesota Lynx. So that'll be another reason for me to jump on that bandwagon, and all the natives probably fill up that place like they they did for the barn for the Warriors. And
from a business standpoint, you would almost want to take her in a place like Minnesota because their regular season ticket sales, if you had her playing, I guarantee you're getting another 100, 150 people per game more than you would have. So, I mean, it would be worth their while for sure.
Business sense, that would.
And teams have done that historically in the past, drafting like Joe Mauer for the Twins was like a no-brainer. He was a hometown hero. Like, we had to take him. If there probably wasn't a doubt, but if there was, it was a shoe-in. Like, well, he's going to pack the stadium, even if he's a decent player. He's our boy,
He's the man. I wouldn't know. Let's think about the Twins. Growing up around Red Lake, I don't know if you were young enough to remember. We only had 5 channels. Sometimes 3 channels.
I remember those days.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, because I'd watch more Chicago Bulls and Chicago Cubs games. Yeah, and could barely ever see a Timberwolves or a Twins game. Yeah, I remember that.
Local sports. Oh, we had the Vikings every Sunday.
Yep.
And we didn't get the Timberwolves till 1989, and then Cubs. We had WGN growing up around here, one of our 3-4 channels, and that's how I got dragged into that. My grandpa's watching them all the time, so I watched them with them, and I've been, I don't know if it's my loyalty or what. I'm a loyal person, and I've been there since 1984. Wow, 30 years as a Cubs fan now. That just depressed me.
You were a Cubs fan for so long.
Yeah.
Harry Carey died. That's how long you were a Cubs fan. Yeah. I actually went to Harry Carey's restaurant a few years back. It was pretty nice.
Yeah. I went there, it was 2009. Me and a few buddies went down to Wrigley Field, my first time down there. And cool thing about that
I think I saw it. You have a picture.
Yeah, we have a picture of that.
Yeah.
He was coming out of our hotel. We were heading down to Harry Carey's. Sitting at the door was Louis C.K. and David Cross.
Nice.
I said, hey, you guys, come take a picture of us. So my buddies with me, they didn't know who they were. Said, yeah. Think about that. When I met Louis C.K., I called him Greg Fitzsimmons, you know, the other redhead comedian. And I know who he was, but that name just came out because of the red hair.
Yeah.
I knew exactly who he was.
Did he get mad?
He looked angry in the picture. Yeah.
I would be.
You could see David Cross just cracking up in our picture. So.
Oh, what a moment.
He must have been pretty pissed.
You have to show me that sometime.
Yeah, I've been trying to apologize to him on Twitter ever since.
He's not having it, huh?
He's
got his own show now.
I think he hates me.
Yeah.
The thing I heard about his show is, his show is every season he does, it's what happened in his life 3 years before that.
Oh, okay.
So maybe that'll come up on his upcoming season.
Yeah.
A fat Native American guy insulting him by calling him the wrong name.
I can see that being on there.
That's me. Yeah, so
we'll tweet this to him once he shoots the show for it.
Yeah, that's the thing about social media, man. You can get contact with celebrities on Twitter, and you know, as sad as it sounds, that's pretty much the highlight of my day. Getting retweeted by, Hannibal Buress. I got favorited by Hannibal Buress today.
Nice. So he's hilarious. Yeah. My sister and I actually went to a show. I think my friend Julia, who does comedy, she's down in St. Louis now. She kind of moved somewhat for the comedy scene down there. I think I might have put you two in touch at one point. To do some networking and whatnot.
Facebook bros now.
Yeah, she was in that what is it, like funniest comedian contest that they have. It's like a big 3-month thing in Minneapolis. Like it's like a last comic standing type thing, but specifically to Minneapolis. She was doing that, but Hannibal Buress was also there. Yeah, we saw him and we were just dying. Like, that dude was seriously one of the funniest people I've ever seen live.
Yeah, he's got
shout out to Hannibal.
He's got his new special coming on Comedy Central.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I'm excited to see it.
11:59. So watch Hannibal tonight. Hopefully he mentions me on Twitter again. Sadly, that'll really make my day. And
that's cool, man. I think that's kind of one of the reasons why Twitter is so big, and it separated itself from the Facebook or Instagram or things like that. Is you do have the opportunity to connect with your favorite athlete, a musician you really like, an actor, whoever it is. There's an opportunity. They might reply to you. They might retweet you. So there's a split second of them connecting with you. You know,
knowing who you are,
right? For that millisecond. So I mean, I think that's definitely one of the reasons why people like it so much. But I've had some incredible things come from Twitter, from me just being on Twitter. Some of the best moments of my life have been because I was dinking around on Twitter, and then 3 months later you're somewhere and you're like, holy crap, this is because of that tweet I sent. I was kind of in a roundabout way how I was able to take my little sister to go meet her hero, Steve Nash. We got to go into the Suns locker room. Thunder Dan was chilling out, hanging out, and yeah, my little sister's face when she met Steve Nash, she was like a girl seeing the Jonas Brothers. You know what I mean? She couldn't breathe. She was freaking out. She was hyperventilating, and Steve Nash came over and he put his hands on her shoulders and he was like, Serena, it's okay. You can breathe.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome though. It was one of the best experiences of my life, and that was just from a tweet. You know, I met someone on there, and she was the daughter of the Phoenix Suns head coach, and called in a favor, which she was nice enough to grant. There's a lot of reasons that I'll leave out of the story, but she was nice enough to hook us up with that. Yeah. So if Alexis Gentry's watching this, shout out to Alexis.
Bless your soul.
Yeah, bless your soul, Alexis, and the entire Gentry family, and Steve Nash.
It's quite the story, man.
It was fun. Yeah.
I don't know. You got your books. What's going on with that? Then is that you're an author?
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, it feels weird to consider myself an author until I have a book that I can hand you, or a book that you can download. But that's really, literally, hopefully months away from happening. I've written 3.5 books now. First one I completely scrapped after doing probably 330, 340 pages. Had it front, middle, and back done. And I started writing my next one. And as I developed myself as a writer, and as I learned more about how to write, my first one seemed kind of like a demo or a practice session. And the second one, I was like, all right, now I really got this. And then that one even, I finished 2 years ago. wrote a 3rd book after that, started writing my 4th book, and I get so excited to write my next book, I didn't take the time to put the business work into it and get it, find a literary agent and find a publisher and those things. So I've been studying that part of the business now and busting my ass trying to figure out how I'm going to get these books out to the world. So I had to kind of slow down and take a step back and be like, okay, what's the point of writing if you're not getting some of these things out there? So kind of putting my foot on the brake until I get one out. And when I get the one out, then I can focus back onto the rest of the stuff I'm writing. But incredibly excited. That's what I always thought I was going to be a basketball player growing up, like the rest of my life. When I was 7, 8, 9 years old, I was like, oh, I'm going to go to the NBA, you know. When that didn't work out, I tried music, but I was too busy partying my ass off, drinking, living a rock star life before I even had a contract with anyone. So for 10 years, I didn't even like learn how to become a singer or a musician. I just thought I was, you know. So I dabbled with it, but I didn't put in the time. But now this past 3 years, I learned from that mistake of how I feel like I failed as a musician by not being disciplined, by not putting in the work, by not being humble enough to be like, you know what, I do suck at this today, but here's how I'm going to get as good as I want to get at it, you know. So I had to kind of take a few steps down as I went through this experience of becoming a writer and really learn. Like even now, when me saying I wrote 3.5 books, that doesn't mean shit to me. Like I'm still hungry to learn more. Every day I'm like on Amazon.com looking up different books on how to write, or I'm always open to talking with other writers and learning from them. So I got a lot of work left ahead of me, but incredibly excited to get it out. It's called December Ever After, so should be on Amazon probably by late fall.
Okay, cool.
I need everybody who knows me to get at least 2 copies.
I will buy 2 copies. That's the thing about, you know, when you're young.
I should sell like 10 at least, right? Maybe 12.
But being about young and stupid, you think you know everything. You're just going to go right out there and do it, man.
Right.
You know, I've been doing comedy for, 4 years now, and I was thinking, man, I should have been doing this 15, 20 years ago. I'd be, instead of acting like I knew it all, and it'll come to me because, you know, it's because I'm young, I'm cool. And, but
I have those same thoughts.
A lot of work, man.
It is, but I think sometimes too things happen for a reason, and the time of when it happens or doesn't happen also can happen for a reason. And for me, when I look back on, hey, I could have been doing this writing thing the past 15, 20 years or whatever, the stories that I tell now and the dialogue in those stories and what happens to those characters and whatnot, those are all from my personal life of the past 10 years. Like I went through such a roller coaster and so many incredibly hilarious things, or incredibly beautiful romantic things, or horrible, tragic, crazy things. So all those are like intertwined into these fictional stories. So I wouldn't have had a story to tell 10 or 15 years ago. So even though now I'm, you know, at an advanced stage in my life where you look back and you're like, damn, I could have been on this. I could have already been where I want to be. It's perfect for me. Like right now, it's like it worked out the way it was supposed to. So hopefully with your comedy thing, you're more of a fine-tuned, like articulate comedian in your, you know, age now versus when you're 20, you might have been telling like fart jokes, you know. And I can come up with some more clever, intelligent, more witty stuff.
I still do
you know?
Fart jokes.
Right, well, who doesn't? Yeah, they're great. They never get old.
Bread and butter, man. Right. Everybody loves a good fart joke. We didn't get any more questions. Fine, be that way, Facebook. I want to ask questions.
That was a good amount. I'm exhausted. I'm spent.
Yeah, I'm
gonna have to get
here,
some
man.
of this coffee now.
Yeah. C's Coffee Shop.
Yeah.
Like their cool sign. I don't think I have it all in there, but C's Coffee Shop. C'sCoffeeShop.com.
Boom.
3763. Come check it out, man. All right, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. A pleasure as always.
Let's go have some coffee.
Deuces. Get it.